If we are to rejoice on some occasions and mourn on others, then suffering and joy must be diametrically opposed. And if suffering and joy stand in opposition to each other, then we can't experience one while experiencing the other. But the problem with this approach, as Michael explains, is that if we dedicate our lives to the avoidance of suffering, we might steer clear of some pain and trouble, but according to Jesus' words, we will also miss joy. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. John 16:33. The clarification is helpful. When we are faced with suffering that we can't control, instead of avoiding or denying it, we are to understand that by staying focused on Jesus and all he provides, we are able to take heart, to be joyful, a clear biblical principle about a key emotional truth. Michael and Lauren also provide us with wise insight that we aren't always totally helpless, and in many ways do have some measure of control over our situations. Sometimes when we are faced with a hardship, we think that all we can do is pray and wait. That may be true, but most of the time there are mental, emotional, behavioral, and relational choices we can make that can help the problem resolve. The authors call this partial control in Chapter 5, which deals with powerlessness. That is an empowering reality to keep us in the balance between two extremes, being control freaks and living in what psychologists call learned helplessness. In this book, we also have the encouragement of the author's transformational stories. We all love a good story. Compelling narratives about real flesh and blood people just like us grab our attention, draw us in, and leave us changed. And because they resonate with us on both an emotional and a physical level, the stories help us make sense of the stories unfolding in our own lives. Because Michael and Lauren express themselves so vulnerably, allowing you in the room, as it were, you'll find yourself engaged by their firsthand experience and reminded of your own path. You'll experience with them the serious hardships they've faced, including not being able to conceive a biological child, the bewildering wait they endured before finally adopting their daughter Zion, walking the scary and lonely path of a cancer diagnosis, losing their beloved son Ezra after a year, walking along with Lauren's sister Lindy and her husband Danny as they had to bury their hours-old child. But over and over again, Beyond Our Control brings these stories to us with a point, and the point has to do with spiritual growth. As Lauren and Michael say, this book is not a memoir. It is much more. It brings you to a God who heals and transforms that which is beyond our control. Then there's the final encouragement, that of ultimately being pointed to Jesus. The author's most important goal is that this book draws us closer to Jesus because, in the ultimate analysis, only an intimate walk with him can fully allow us to overcome fear with peace. Peace I leave with you, Jesus said. My peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. John 14:27. Research states that one of the hallmarks of emotional health is a person's ability to simultaneously hold differing, even contradictory experiences. People who cannot tolerate negative circumstances, for example, feel that all of the joy in their life is drained by the negative. However, healthy people can hold the tension and live well with it. Lauren and Michael show us the way in our relationships with Jesus to live in a troubled world, facing uncontrollable circumstances, and at the same time experiencing his peace, the peace that allows us to feel the hard things and the joy at the same time, and move forward in faith. I hope you will experience the many benefits of this book. God bless you. John Townsend, Ph.D., author of the Boundaries book series and founder of Townsend Institute and Townsend Leadership Program.
Introduction: Twists and Turns. I'm guessing that what has brought you here to these pages is a kind of pain that feels paralyzing, the type of suffering that will never make sense, the aspects of life that linger just beyond your reach, beyond those things you think you control. I'm guessing that you're grateful for many things in life: the air you breathe, the opportunities you've been given, the moments you deeply enjoy. But you know as well as I do that even the richest, most plentiful blessings don't outweigh the burden of feeling out of control. I'm guessing that while you may have always known that life comes with its share of hardships, it's the form those hardships take that has felt totally shocking to you. You thought you'd struggle?